But with that, it comes, the critical thinking. I mean, no violence, but no much other things.
Really?
No intimacy,
Really?
no... exactly. It's just being flat in your life. You have to do everything as it should be done because somebody's watching, all the time. The end of violence, maybe 15 years ago, something like that, right? 10, 15 years ago, whatever. Wien Wenders. Okay. New media. New media is... Oh, these words, how complicated. Could you help me with this, please?
Which one are you at? This right here?
Yes.
Okay.
Just say the words.
Manipulability?
Can you say that?
It's hard.
Or I invented it?
I think you did.
Yeah, I did.
But that's language, It's a living creature, like concepts. You can manipulate it.
You can manipulate everything that is on the code 01. Absolutely. You can put it 10, you can put 110, you can put 1010, you can put 000, you can put anything. And there's no way of finding out what is made up and what is as reality is. Everything is networkable, okay? Everything can be put on the net so that anybody can see anything. And today there's no problem for only maybe, Clark, 5 years ago. You couldn't put anything. There were files with an amount of information that you have to just leave it in your computer. There was no way of sending it, or you had to tape it, and with a tape put it from digital to analog, and then from analog to digital again. That was the way you would normally, people who had worked in the media can tell me this. It was 5, 6 years ago, where you tape it and then you put it in another digital, and you put it there. Not anymore. Today you can send basically anything.
A picture of a license plate directly to the home.
There you go, and with other important information of our lives.
Things we need to do.
Okay. Did you see that smart way of saying what happened to me? No, I didn't. Kidding. A friend. I have a friend. Okay? That's so typical. I have a friend. So.
I thought you looked familiar.
So, networkable. Next. Dense. We can condense information. We can put it in... The news a couple of days ago is that, what's the name of these USBs that are very, one of the memory sticks, with 160 gigabytes.
It's a lot.
100, yeah, it's a hard disk, or almost a hard disk. 160 gigabytes in a memory stick. It's so easy to put so much information in these little devices.
Speaking of dense, also heavy. Heavy doesn't even exist anymore. We don't think of things as being heavy. But if you go outside and you find a mountain and you say, oh wow, there's the top of the mountain. I'm gonna climb that mountain. But Google Earth can pile all this information on top of that physical landscape. It could have historical data piled onto it. It could have the various names that it's had over the centuries, and it could have who's been there. There could be a register for it. So even when you're out in nature, you're kind of swimming through this technological layer. So it's dense, but I would also say it's heavy. Heavy might not be the best word, but just, I don't know, foggy?
Do you think that the time will come where there's no need for going physically to a place?
Yeah, maybe next year. That's probably...
Maybe at the end of this year?
Yeah, what time is it? Oh. Yes.
Because we are building all these realities that day by day seem so much real, that maybe a time will come very early where, you can be there, you can see it. I remember the first exercise, obviously, I think the first exercise of any of us, the first time we were in front of Google Earth, What was it? Exactly. Search for home. Where? There. Like if we were gonna see, oh, there I am. Hey, there, and after that, the school and whatever, the sports club. But the first was, try to see myself, put inside of my home, somewhere in the world, So this is, I couldn't think at this possibility. If somebody 5 years ago would tell me that today I could do that, I wouldn't believe it. That all the world will be photographs and put, mainly, this is the important thing, not only photographed. We know the world has been photographed several times. No, put it on a cloud, put it on a network, make it accessible to anybody. That's the thing that is totally shocking, Right now I can go into Google Earth and search for whatever, and things start to appear all the time. More photographs and histories and videos are starting to appear, and obviously advertisement and all this stuff that make things pretty amazing.
Here's another example, combining what you said earlier. Okay, if I say today, whatever, February 24th, I was in Chapel Hill today, North Carolina. Maybe in a year, I'll never have to do this again. I'll just say, I was in Chapel Hill. And people will understand that to be somewhere means more or less to be there virtually, physically. It doesn't even matter anymore. It won't even be an obstacle. Oh, I'll miss this, though.
There will be no difference, when you say, I was in Chapel Hill,
right, meaning
I was physically in Chapel Hill, or I was by a virtual world in Chapel Hill.
No difference.
No difference at all. Wow. Like, for example, today we can say, I talked with, I saw somebody. I saw my kid, and I saw him through Skype, I didn't see him like that. But there's no difference. I saw, you were with him. No, I wasn't. I saw him, but it's practically the same.
These are everyday concepts that are changing right in front of us.
Wow. Okay. So, compressible, impartial. Obviously, if we can have, the opinion of everybody, the perspective of everybody, this makes what we put on our information networks something impartial. Reproduced. We can reproduce it as many times as we want. As some of you know, I like a lot of photographs, doing some photography, and some guy that knows a lot more about photography the other way was telling me that I shouldn't store my photographs on the files JPEG, because they are corruptible. Okay, when you open and you close it one and again, then it start to have less quality. So I asked him, okay, how many times, do I have to open and close one of these files in order to, start seeing the damage on the file? And he very seriously told me about 10,000 times. And I was like, who is gonna open a photograph 10,000 times? I can't do it. If I start doing it right now, it will take me several years to do that.
Who is
who
this guy?
cares? Somebody who knows a lot about photography, but not about life. I don't have enough time, to open and close 10,000 times a file. So who cares? Put it that way or in RAW or whatever. There's no difference. So we can reproduce absolutely everything. I'm going to talk about later on the session a lot about what happens with music. We are reproducing it all the time, and we lose some things. We gain some things, but I'm sure that we lose things as well. Okay, reproduce, obviously exchange, and obviously circulate in very, very easy ways.
Notice what happens with these three terms here. You put something on Facebook, you can distribute it, and you can feel the consequences of it almost immediately.